The company contracted to transport Krystal out of province, used staff that did not have the proper training, and used vehicles that did not have the right equipment to care for ICU patients. I'll table a document that lays this out. Does the Premier agree that a team transporting ICU patients should have the necessary training and equipment to do so safely?
Madam Speaker, and before I get to the member's question, I just wanted to say that sometimes it's we need to remember that we need to take time to celebrate our kids. And last night, it was a proud mom moment for me. It was a proud parent moment for both my husband and I when we were at a hockey rink in Selkirk.
Manitoba Premier Heather Stefanson facing some harsh criticism for that response to a question about the tragic and questionable death of Krystal Mousseau back in May of 2021.
Mousseau was a COVID-19 patient in the ICU being transported out of province due to the lack of space for her, who died in the care of the transport team. NDP leader Wab Kinew says that Stefanson's response shows a lack of empathy, and he's demanding real answers.
Krystal Mousseau's children will not have their mother at their big life moments and their milestones. And that's why I think we should push for answers in this case. So my hope is that with Manitobans paying attention to this issue, that they do understand that we should have an inquiry, that we should have a way to get to the truth of what happened here, so that we can have justice for Krystal Mousseau.
The province rejected an inquest, and so now the NDP are calling for an inquiry. Stefanson responded to this call, as did all other parties.
Before we make any decisions on whether or not to call any public inquiry, we need to make sure that all avenues are exhausted before that. So there's still information that may be coming out of that, so it would be premature, I think, to go in that direction today.
The public interest is for us to understand the truth of what happened here and to find out who should be held accountable. The government can do that. One of the important ways that they should do that is by calling an inquiry.
The question is whether it's systemic, is it whether this happened many times, whether this is a bigger problem, and that would be the threshold for having an inquiry. I still think that there's some justification in looking back into it.
Kinew says an inquiry is needed because this case marked such a pivotal moment for Manitoba during the COVID-19 pandemic.
One of the most serious moments of the pandemic, when our province was shut down, when we were sending ICU patients to other parts of Canada because we couldn't take care of sick people here in Manitoba. And the fact that somebody died during that situation is something that we should all take very seriously. We want to make sure it never happens again.
In Winnipeg, Brianne Foley, City News.
Next on City News.